So what is the craziest request you've ever had, and did you pull it off?
Yeah, so I've had a lot of crazy requests for everything from we want a special edit or a special dance. I think one of the craziest ones was actually kind of in light of Star Wars lately. This is kind of cool, but I had a bride that wanted to do a lightsaber fight. And so they wanted to do it and choreograph the thing. They wanted sound effects, with the lightsabers hitting. They wanted the music, and they wanted a voiceover that sort of set it up for everybody. And so it was a pretty crazy request, but I thought, man, I love challenges like this. This is just something out of the box, personalizes it for them. And so, I remember pulling it off, and it went great. And it really was one of those memorable moments for them. And I doubt their guests will ever forget that moment.
Okay, so what's the one thing that you have learned or you may regret from having planned your own wedding?
I think one of the things I learned and regret is really not to sweat the small things. I think as you're going through the planning, there's a lot of things that seem really important, and it's natural to feel that way. I think if you get online and you start getting on Pinterest or you start reading checklists of what to do, I think you can get really caught up in all those little small details kind of in the weeds and start to worry about everything from what your tables are going to look like and escort cards and things like that, right when you get engaged. And I think just calm down, take a deep breath, and just start hitting the big things first. And all those little details, I think, will fall into place. And so the biggest regret, I think, for me was, kind of getting caught in the weeds a little early in the process and not really thinking about the big things, but to carry all that anxiety up front was kind of something I learned. Let's not do this. And then also just prioritizing things that are important. Even not even with music, but even I know my wife and I, we didn't really put a high priority on photography. And so we regret that now. We look back at our photos and we're like, they're not as great as some of the great photographers that I work with nowadays, and I'm like, man, I wish we would have had something like this. And so that's one thing, is to really, if it's important to you, to really set that budget aside and to really try hard to get the vendors that you want, and that those things, because those are going to things that you live with forever. And I would say don't worry about the small things that don't matter, but the big things like that are memories that are going to last, to really maybe spend a little bit more and get what you want there.
So what sets you apart from other vendors in your industry?
So in my industry, so in the DJ industry, there's a lot of DJs that just love doing parties. They love kind of playing music for just about anything. Anybody calls them, they love to kind of get out there and be the center of attention. But what's unique about us is that we just do weddings. And so I think that's cool, because we really spend a lot of our time just kind of looking at current trends and what's happening with weddings. We also do a lot more than just playing music. We actually help kind of, if there's not a planner involved, a wedding planner, we'll actually help a couple sort of plan out all those details to make sure that it's really a true reflection of their personalities, their musical tastes, and it works for their guests. And so that's really unique. And then also we offer some things that other companies don't. And one of those things is live music. I don't sing personally, but we have several DJs. People are kind of calling them the singing DJs lately. But they actually can do live music in addition to DJing. And what's cool about that is they can do a live dinner set and strum the guitar, play some keys or something, and sing for that. And then when it's time to actually dance, they have their entire library there to actually DJ and be the MC that night. And so it's even different than having a full band, because they're limited a little bit on the playlist, but with the DJ there, you kind of get the best of both worlds. And so I'd say that's unique. Another thing that's unique is just we offer full event lighting. We actually have a full lighting production company, and so as opposed to a DJ who just brings a couple of lights, we actually can pull off some really big lighting events and really change the look. And we even do that on its own. You don't have to necessarily book us for DJing to get all those features, but so would be a couple of things that make us really unique.
Chris, well, thank you so much for stopping
Yeah,
by
thank
today.
you. Appreciate it. This was fun.
Thank you. And again, it's William Ryan with It's Your Night Entertainment. Comments, questions below, and we'll see you next time.